Lesson 27. The first word is unruly. It means hard to rule or control, lawless. First example. Unruly behavior is prohibited at the pool. Second example. When he persisted in acting unruly, Ralph was fired from his job. Third example. His unruly actions were a menace to those who were trying to work. Fourth example. The unruly crowd refused to leave the stadium after the concert ended. Fifth example. Police were called in to control the unruly protesters blocking the highway. The second word is rival. It means person who wants and tries to get the same things as another, one who tries to equal or do better than another. First example. The boxer devised an attack that would help him to be victorious over his young rival. Second example. Sherry didn't like to compete because she always thought her rival would win. Third example. Seidman and Son decided to migrate to an area where they would have fewer rivals. Fourth example. She trained hard every day to defeat her rival in the upcoming tennis match. Fifth example. The two tech companies have been rivals for years in the smartphone market. The third word is violent. It means acting or done with strong, rough force. First example. Carefully, very carefully, we approached the violent man. Second example. Violent behavior is prohibited on school grounds. Third example. Vernon had a tendency to be violent when someone angered him. Fourth example. The protest turned violent when clashes broke out between police and demonstrators. Fifth example. The movie contained several violent scenes not suitable for children. The fourth word is brutal. It means coarse and savage, like a brute, cruel. First example. Dozens of employees, quite the job, because the boss was brutal to them. Second example. The brutal track coach persisted in making the team work out all morning under the hot sun. Third example. Swearing to catch the murderer. The detectives revealed that it has been an unusually brutal, violent crime. Fourth example. The soldiers faced a brutal winter with little food or shelter. Fifth example. He was sentenced to life in prison for a brutal murder. The fifth word is opponent. It means person who is on the other side of a fight, game, or discussion. Person fighting, struggling, or speaking against another. First example. The Russian chess player underestimated his opponent and lost. Second example. He was a bitter opponent of costly urban reform. Third example. Seeing his flabby opponent, Slugger was sure he would be victorious. Fourth example. The boxer knocked out his opponent in the second round. Fifth example. He was a strong opponent of the new law and spoke out against it in public forums. The sixth word is brawl. It means a noisy quarrel or fight. First example. The journalist covered all the details of the brawl in the park. Second example. Larry dreaded a brawl with his father over finding a job. Third example. What started out as a polite discussion soon became a violent brawl. Fourth example, the police were called to break up a brawl between rival fans after the game. Fifth example, several students were suspended after a brawl erupted in the cafeteria. Now, we have a short story from the words we have learned. The final match. The gym was packed, the air thick with tension. It wasn't just any fight. It was the long-awaited rematch between Jake and Marco, fierce rivals since their amateur boxing days. Each had risen through the ranks, crushing opponents with skill and fury, but their rivalry had become personal, and tonight it was about more than a title. From the opening bell, the match turned violent. Jake came out swinging with raw aggression, while Marco countered with precision and speed. The crowd roared as fists flew in a display that was both breathtaking and terrifying. Neither fighter held back. It was a brutal exchange of blows that left blood on the mat and fear in the eyes of spectators. Midway through the third round, an unruly group of fans started shouting insults and throwing cups from the stands. Security rushed to calm them down, but the distraction spilled over into the ring. The tension snapped. A full-on brawl erupted, not just in the ring, but among the fans. Chairs crashed, punches flew, and the arena descended into chaos. The referee called off the match, but the damage was done. The fight for the title had turned into a war zone. No winner was declared that night, but one thing was clear. This wasn't the end of the rivalry. It was only the beginning. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and until the next one, goodbye. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Your support is truly appreciated.